Alrighty, everybody. Peace, love, and law. Welcome to In God We Trust Academy, the Lawman podcast, episode 18. And as always, we give thanks to each and every last one of you and your participation and joining us. As always, give thanks to the Almighty, the Most High. Such a beautiful day to be here amongst those who are here to learn with us today. Still got a lot of great things going on. Got a conference coming up. Still got a chance right now. Still to this day, guys. In God We Trust Academy and the MNRP collaboration 2026 raffle giveaway. Guys, holla at us. Somebody's going to win a 2026 Toyota Camry coming this Saturday. We got 5 days. June the 20th, we will be live, guys. Okay? We're going to be live. Try to cover all the platforms so you guys can be able to see the drawing. We're going to be live all day, too. So we're going to be enjoying, having a good time. Going to be some cooking and stuff going on. Yeah, so hope you guys be ready as well, man. So can't wait to see my brother when he get here, and we're going to lock in and do some things as well. But for sure, just make sure that you still got time to enter into the drawing. Somebody asked me the other day, when is the actual the last day? Listen, you got all the way up until, we're going to say 2:30. 2:30 on June the 20th, 2:30 p.m. Central Time. That's when, because we'll have to make sure we got everything to everybody and be able to make sure all the tickets, etc., are placed into the bin as well, so that way we can make sure that you are entered into the drawing as well. And we do have first prize goes to the first prize is a Toyota Camry. The second, third, and fourth are $500 prizes as well. So, you know, you do have that opportunity. And yes, I'm still available for consultations. Anybody looking for one, go to ingodwetrustacademy.com to do that. My God's Law, My Salvation, guys, June the 27th of this particular month, 2026, guys. We are going to be having our conference in the Atlanta area. We'll be at 2131 Kingston Circle, 114 Marietta, Georgia, Marietta, Georgia. So 10 a.m. Central Time, 3 p.m. Central Time, which is on East Coast. That's 11 a.m. Central Time, just so you guys know. But, 125 in person and 100 on live stream. If you do want to do the live stream, guys, you are more than welcome. But we're definitely going to be covering everything possible, from your majority status, from your minor accounts, from your rights, your due process, jurisdiction, equitable remedies, legal remedies, right? Just making sure you truly have an understanding of the law, how to read the law, and y'all got to get off these, bullshit theories that people keep putting y'all in and grabbing onto and holding on to it. And I want you to make sure that you win with the best way possible. And that's just utilizing the law. Law governs all events. Law is the order of the day because law orders the day. So let's make sure we have that understanding as well. So what's up with y'all? How y'all doing in here today? Y'all quiet.
Doing amazing, doing amazing. It's my birthday month, so I've been turned up all month. So what's up, y'all? Peace and love.
Yeah, what's up? What's up, y'all? You know what I mean?
Yeah, the birthday.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
So y'all feeling good in here though, right? What's up, Isaiah? Make sure y'all feeling good. Ricardo, you good in here?
Yeah, I'm in the courts right now helping out a friend. Do another order so called to buy more time. But yeah, feel good, man.
You say
How
now
you
tell
doing,
everybody
bro?
what you doing now.
Yeah.
You in the
Oh, I'm
course
over here in
helping
the courts now.
somebody?
Yeah. Helping somebody else out. I'm doing an order of show cause to get buy more time because if they don't start placing the eviction and none of that. We did it already once prior. I think I had told you about it. And now we got actually evidence that shows that the Catholic Charities is actually taking over and being able to help with the old arrears of the rent.
Mm-hmm.
So now I showed them all the paperwork and I put it in with the order to show cause so that way they give them more time for sure. You know what I mean?
All right, so you
But
you
yeah.
you you got a lot of information. Where you learn all this at, brother?
Oh man, if I tell you, brother, in God We Trust Academy is where it's at. You heard? That's where you gotta come check him out, man. That's where he's at, man, bro.
Nah, it's good. It's good to see you.
Thank you, yo, for real. I appreciate you a lot,
For
man. For
real,
real, man.
it's good to
Mhm.
see their knowledge being able to be transferred and become useful. That's the main thing, and that's what
Yeah.
we want to happen. That the knowledge that you get here, that it's useful. And we spoke about this a couple of days ago about knowledgeable versus the ignorance, etc., and understanding that knowledge is a leverage. It's a tool that you get to use because you are in the knowing and you aware. When you aware and you in the knowing, now you're able to bring about a solution to something instead of not being able to at all. So just being able to take the right information and being able to utilize the right information as your leverage. And that's what you want to be able to do. So I'm glad to hear that, bro. So for sure.
Thank you, man. I appreciate you. Appreciate you. All you guys. Thank you, guys.
All right, guys. Well, I'm excited about these next 2 weeks, man. For real. The next pretty much the next 14 days, 13 days. It's about to be super lit for me, right? And for whoever is the winners and whoever show up at the conference and whoever going to be around for any and all of this, it's going to be a lot of powerful information that's going to be dropped for us um, these next few weeks or so. So like I say, I would love to see you there. If you can't make it there, that's fine. Just make sure you stick around when we doing stuff like this and we're present. You're still going to be able to learn. You're still going to be able to capitalize, but it is going to require a lot of work on your behalf as well too, which means that you got to be able to study. And that's why I say for this particular conference, like this is for those, whether you a beginner or been in it for a long time, feel like you missing clues, missing something, whatever, this is for you. And to be able to grab hold and literally start handling things in the correct manner and utilizing the law for what it is to be used for and making sure that you receive your remedy, not running away from it, not creating theories and things like that you can't explain and operate throughout a court. If I haven't learned anything, what I have learned is if you make a claim, no matter who you are, even if you go and try to challenge jurisdiction, you got to prove the defect in it to make sure that you be able to actually challenge it, whichever jurisdiction you may be challenging. Without the proof of that, just saying I challenge jurisdiction is not enough, right? So again, that's why I say that this is going to be the most powerful conference I have definitely done, and full 12-year experience being poured into these 4 ebooks that you guys are going to be getting out of this as well. So it's going to be great. Great, great, great. Let's go and hit that record button. We're going to get started, guys, and we're going to talk to you guys about some things, man. I'm going to ask y'all some questions today because I got to pick some brains. I got to see where y'all at. So I'm going to be looking for some feedback too. All right, again, in God We Trust Academy, the Lawman podcast. We're on episode 18. We give thanks to each and every last one of you always for your participation and being present and making this possible with us as well. Give thanks to the Almighty, the Creator, just for this moment, yo. And it's a beautiful thing to be able to receive this knowledge and wisdom and to be able to stand on truth and apply these things and then just watch that word continue to spread, which is the gospel, the truth itself is continuing to spread and allowing others to be able to utilize these things in their life. So we give thanks for that, man. Everything from this point on is education of religious purposes only. Anybody seeking any form of religious, anybody seeking any form of legal advice, excuse me, or make sure that you seek a legal advisor, right? All right. Now, let's talk about it. Anybody got any testimonies before we get started? Anybody got testimonies? Testimonies? We still waiting on some people to get here. They ain't been able to make it. I guess they've been working or whatever. But y'all see, they'll pop in here one day. But going one more time. Anybody with a testimony? I tell you what, I do. I got a testimony.
I got one.
Go ahead. Go ahead, y'all.
It's not a testimony in light of like any process thing of getting some type of result. In a sense it is, in a sense it isn't. But what I'll testify to is, for one, being grateful to the Most High, but two, being grateful for someone like you who takes time to put out information and knowledge to truly help people understand their constitutional rights. And while some people might not take that, very well, because what they may have been subjected to when it comes to information, but I want to say thank you for being a beacon of light to really put out truthful information regarding our rights, regarding how they are protected, regarding how people will let race be the divide, but where you will show that this isn't about race. This is truly about, and it's not that race is not important, but the fact of the matter is, no matter what race, nationality, or creed, you have rights, you have titles, you have interests that is protected constitutionally. And to understand that the law of the land has truly been set upon our feet to walk the path of righteousness. And because you have done that, it has truly helped me sharpen so much of my understanding about rights, about property, about estates, about trust, about how to protect my legacy for generations to come. And I just want to say, people on this call, if you truly, truly hear what he is saying, those who have the ears to hear and the eyes to see will see. You won't have to deal with arguing and debating with people if you will just have the ears to hear and the eyes to see. And I yield.
Amen to that.
Amen. Amen.
In one of my books, it says this, that the law, it says basically the law kills debate at the point of authority. And from that point, it becomes compliance and obedience. So that's why I say, like, and I'm so thankful for the way the law is written today. It is righteous. It didn't leave out nobody. It didn't leave out a gender, ethnicity. It didn't leave out a race. It didn't leave out a national origin. It didn't leave out nobody. Nobody. Literally. And I keep saying this. Everybody got blood, sweat, and tears here on this land. Some shape, form, or fashion. And if you don't understand how the law has came about, everything that is in the federal government was because of the bullshit the states was doing and still do today. There was no laws prohibiting the state from doing nothing at all. The states was just, because when you go read Article 3, Section 2, Clause 1, it's telling you that, hey, this is the only jurisdiction that the federal government has when it comes between two different states, right? Two different citizens from two different states. It could be two citizens of the same state with claims of land from a different state. That goes to federal. And just other little small things like that. But it does not say that you can literally come to the federal government to hold the actors of the state to anything. That never was there. So gradually over time, through all the things that the states was doing, they had to keep doing these amendments, keep doing them. Because at first, the federal government, when you go read from 1776 to 1789, listen, the federal government ain't had no power. They were just commuting to protect themselves from war, to run as an independent, they're all independent states. They declared to be independent states. So there was no setting over them to any rulership or whatever. They was fighting over boundaries. They was treating different citizens certain type of ways. So this is how all of the Bill of Rights started coming into play, because they said, hey, man, we got to protect these people, right? So as long as the states was creating citizenship or had the right to do citizenship or declare citizenship, that also left the right for them to what? Deny it. So these people, and that's the reason why when people say, well, I didn't agree to it to sign, that's because you don't have to be naturalized. You can't go to the Department of State because they only deal with naturalization. The act here is by birth. It's an action that takes place. It's a performance that happens. So when somebody is born on the continental land of the United States of America by birth, automatically you have this is your birthright. It's citizenship. Immediately. You are not left stateless. And that right is protected throughout the whole entire country. No matter where you at. That's beautiful. Right? And they had to do this because at this particular time, there was no way for the federal government to protect anybody. Right? Yes. Was the 14th Amendment, did the 14th Amendment kind of primarily happen to help, et cetera, the so-called Black American situation? Yes, it did. But guess what? That's not what it says, though. That ain't what the law say. The law said this for everybody. Right? That's exactly what it says. It's for everybody, all persons born or naturalized. Then when it says persons, y'all got to go read the cases. The stranger cases literally tell you that person has always meant the natural. They were asking for corporations to be included for due process reasons. The right to due process. That's what they wanted to be included for. It never stood for artificial person. Ever. Matter of fact, anything dealing with a artificial person is only written in statute. That's another thing. Only written in statute. Statute is what had to define the corporations to even have the protection of due process. It ain't in the Constitution. So you can't ever, I don't even understand why you would ever think that that's what person means, that it meant the corporation. No, they were asking. And anytime that is written and speaking about a corporation in the statute, it says what? Includes. And then it also say, if it say a corporation, association, etc., I guarantee you it say individual. And that individual is who? The living person, man, woman. So all of this had to take place because, again, the states, and this is another thing I said, especially for women that is on this patriotic movie, especially white women. Bro, y'all ain't had no freaking rights. Without the 14th Amendment coming into the play, you ain't got a right to vote. That ain't none of that. It comes into existence for you. They gave you right to vote, and this was only certain states. They gave women right to vote when it comes to election of school things, schools and stuff like that. Just special little small things. Never no political rights. That's why when you go look at the 1800s, there were nothing but what? Men. in legislation. Now, when you look at the legislation today, you can see women, you can see the Asian man, you can see the Korean man, you can see the German man, the black man, the Negro, whatever. Everybody's there. Why? Because everybody got political rights. And to have a political right automatically means you got every right that it is to offer. And it's fully protected. You have that. All privileges and immunities. Why would you not want that? Seriously, why would anybody not want that? Right? That's just like the other day. I mean, last night, we were sitting up here looking, and I said, Google, I want you to Google the 1800 legislature pictures. And look in there and look what they look like. See, this, and all we got to do is go by law and history. We don't got to keep, you know what I'm saying? Law and history is hand in hand. Right? They go hand in hand. Look at this. What y'all see? What y'all see right here?
Not a woman.
Ain't a woman in sight, is it?
Ain't nobody colored in there either.
Ain't nobody colored in there at this time either, is it? You see a Korean man, an Asian man, any of those type of people, they not in there. So at this particular time, it only involved what you would consider white citizens, right? But that's the whole point of this. That's the whole point of this, right? When you see equal rights under the law, the reason why they keep mentioning white citizens, see, this is not saying that you exclusive. This just saying that, hey, before the Reconstruction era, white citizens was the one who had the rights. But guess what? Everybody got that right. Whatever a white citizen think they got or had or whatever, guess what? Everybody got it now. Ain't nothing special about you. I mean, that's literally what it say. And then even to consider, they'll be like, oh, civil rights is not a constitutional right. Any right is protected by the Constitution. So let's start with that first. Any right. It's stupid to even say that because only thing statute can do is define the Constitution. And it has to be authorized to define this particular. So do y'all understand what a self-executing clause is? Do everybody understand what that is? If you don't, you can ask, I'll tell you. A self-executing clause. I'm going to take it y'all understand it. Like, yes or no?
You gotta,
Well, you can explain it. You can explain it.
Can you explain it, please?
So a self-executing clause is saying, let's see, anything that says like it fully executes itself. Like the term of the presidency is a self-executing clause. It does not need to be, defined. You understand what I'm saying? But if it does not self-execute, such as 14th Amendment, such as the 4th Amendment. The 4th Amendment is not self-executing because, wow, we have to break all the way down in accordance to search and seizure. What does that look like? How long does a warrant last? Who can sign the warrant? Who can issue the warrant? Right? All of these things in relations to a warrant and property being seized has to fully be defined. So that means that there are self-executing clauses that says what it says. It needs no further defining. And there's other clauses that are non-self-executing clauses, which means it has to be defined in statute. Now, do y'all understand what I'm saying?
Yes.
Yeah, I got a better understanding, man.
All right. So that's what that means. So when you see this, right? And it says all person within the jurisdiction of the United States. When it says United States right here in the jurisdiction, what jurisdiction is it talking about? Let's start with that because there's three. There can only be one that it's talking about in this particular matter, which is what? Come on.
The continental United States.
That's a fact, which is territorial jurisdiction. It ain't talking about personal, nor is it talking about subject matter because it's not in relation to a charge of a statute or anything like that, right? It's talking about territorial. So all persons within the territorial jurisdiction of the United States shall have the same right in every state and territory to make, enforce contracts, to sue, be parties, give evidence. Now, it says all persons. Do you know who all persons is? Who is all
Natural
persons?
persons,
And that,
and including the entities that are considered artificial. But first, it comes back to the natural persons. Natural persons is within that context, and artificial entities are also grouped in that context because meaning the artificials are the ones that are the corporations, municipalities, etc. They have property too. So they have a right to
to do a
sue
person.
and be sued.
Facts. Pains, penalties, taxes, license. They have to be licensed, everything. But it also means what? Foreigners. A foreigner can come over here and make contracts, etc. They got the same right. That's a class of persons as well, too. All persons, as you see, and speaking of all class of persons, have this particular right, no matter what. Even a criminal has a right to contract. It's people in jail right now still getting paid off documentaries and everything, off contracts. They don't lose their contract right. So this is why I say when it says all persons, that means anybody that's able to contract. You got that right. If you in the territory of the United States, which is the continental land, shall have the same right in every state and territory to make and enforce contracts, to sue, be parties, give evidence, and to the full and equal benefit of all laws. Not some, like y'all be trying to break it down. It said all, not some. All means all. You can't pick out and say somebody don't have this right there. They got all laws and proceedings for securities of persons, property as enjoyed by who? Who they say? Say that for me. Say that word. I mean, they act like it's so special. So by who? Anybody want to finish that sentence? By
White
who?
White
citizens.
citizens,
So
we all the same level. Ain't nobody distinct.
nobody different. Nobody. And just because now, this is where we have to fully humble ourselves. Listen, I know I got ancestry heritage here and all this type of stuff and can claim my indigenous rights. But like I said last night, I don't know them damn people. I'm not finna go live on no reservation. I don't know them. Sorry. Yeah, I can claim it. That's great. That's good to know. It still don't make me know them. None whatsoever do it make me know them. Right? I'm just being honest. It's a choice. And it's a choice that we have. Every so-called black African-American person don't have to go and make a claim to indigenous rights, etc. They don't have to if they don't want to. If they want to, they can. If they don't have to. It's the same way when they had the reservation, they say, hey, you guys can go be on the reservation or you can come off of it. Either way it go, you are still a national and citizen of the United States of America, and you still a citizen of the state that your tribe in, and you still got a right to your tribe. And they did that to fully protect you with the law. So does it really matter? Do they have an extra special right? Yeah, by reservation and according to the treaty. But even the treaty tells them they can't do what? Violate the constitutional rights. So when we say this, make sure that we fully have an understanding. Because when you see this, it says all persons born in the United States to a member of an Indian, Eskimo, Aleutian, or other Aboriginal tribe. Now, it says provided their granting of citizenship. So that means that they already granted their citizenship. And even though you granted you this citizenship, under this subsection shall not in any manner impair or otherwise affect the right of such person to tribal or other property. Now, why would it say that?
Because they're saying even though they become a citizen and they're protected by the law, it does not erase their tribal, cultural property that they hold significant to their tribe.
It don't change anything. You still can go be in your tribe. You still can do and have that and have property, but you still gonna be classified a national citizen of the United States of America. You know why? Because they don't fly. When you come in, you come into the United States of America. You don't fly straight into a tribe, do you? Show me one tribe that's got a full airport, etc., and they can accept people up on the border. Anybody?
They don't.
You can't. This is why you got to really start looking at it and being reflective in reality. Again, you want me to tell you why you can't have a state national? A state national would require that a state issues a passport for its particular state and it's independent. We ain't finna let that slide either. Why would we go? That's why I say when people get to talking about this type of stuff and you want to create all these separations and think a civil war and all of that's going to start again, that's insane. That would weaken us. And we would definitely be taken over by an outside country if we did some stupid shit like that. So therefore, get out of your emotions. Understand that we're going to learn to operate according to the law. And that's what we moving on. Nothing else. Because anything else that y'all say, it divides us and we are conquered. We've already been conquered once. We don't need to let that happen again. Right now, everybody's standing as free people, right? So all I can tell y'all to do from this point forward is get involved in government. I don't care if you a Hebrew Israelite or Moorish American or whoever. Okay, so get in government. Start getting your candidates ready, having at least 10 to 15 people that enter into these particular as candidates for these positions. Otherwise, we blowing smoke. Like everybody has this opportunity. The same way we get to experience Germantown, Koreatown, I want to experience, let me experience Hebrewtown, Morristown, or whatever. Y'all got the opportunity. It's just, are you going to do it? Because right now, a lot of y'all trying to find every way to separate yourself from what God has made whole. And then y'all be trying to get me to see it from your perspective. Guess what? I went through your perspective first. It wasn't shit. How about that? Anybody else feel the same way?
Absolutely. It was just a bunch of division, a bunch of ego, a bunch of, nonsensical stuff that did not align with law. It was more just theoretical and philosophical. It was not rooted in any grounded law, statute, or anything. And then people have this idea that because statutes exist, they're not law. And that's just not the fact.
No, it's not. It
People
is
are
not at all.
trying to run away from something that's been given to you, gifted to you, and you're trying to run away from it because what I do know is that people have a hard time with the understanding of control. People want to be in control, but they don't want to experience a shift of when control is necessary, meaning organization and administration gives a sense of control. But it's not to say that that sense of control is really violating you. Can you be violated? Yes, but you address your grievances according to the law. It's not to say that the system is meaning the system is imperfect. The system is set up to work. It's just some people really get away from learning how to procedurally move within the system.
I'm gonna say this. Like, I don't even like even the word system. I don't even use that like because like what system are we speaking of? We talking about the legislative system, the judicial system, the executive system. Like there's many different systems of that, and then you got the system of ignorance, the continuance of it. To
I
find
just say the system of governance
right,
is
right,
because
right.
governance can be on a broad scale.
Facts.
But some people who don't understand, they use terms like system, and whether they you know, get to the point of its core root of understanding,
And that's where they
it's
mess
just
up at.
understanding it's something in place to help govern the people. And that's how I look at it.
Right, and it's true.
And govern yourself accordingly.
Facts. When it comes to just what we saying about it, like, and the reason why I said it like that is they will deny something they have not yet fully sat down and read. Like to even consider the law is so righteous that it said that if it's imperfect, amend it. Like if it's imperfect, amend it.
Which lets you know that it's revocable. They're operating under a revocable position because if they can amend something, that means they can change it.
Yep. So change. So that's the thing. And then it also says if at any time you dealing with a government that becomes tyrannical, you got the power to change it. Like all this power that you have that is in a righteous manner, equitable manner, Equity. What's fair? What's right? What's just? You know what I mean? So I like today, that's why I say today, I really wanted to just be able to like sit here and just like, I really want y'all to see for yourself and ask questions. We've been talking about this for a couple months here lately, but you know what I'm saying? I just seen something the other day and I was like, look, y'all cannot be reading. And I said, like, let's just go by what y'all say. Right? Let's just go by y'all theory that y'all be trying to put out there. When y'all put this theory out there, again, if you want to go back before the Reconstruction era, that's just like a Moore sent me something, 1790, sun-dry free. I say, yeah, that's before the Reconstruction era. It was right for them more to consider to say that because he did not want to be treated like a slave. And he did have a form of a political standing and belong to, et cetera. Yeah, I get that. But that was for that particular time. It's no need to say that anymore because everybody got rights. Everybody free. Everybody got the right to due protection and equal protection of the law. Everybody. And again, the United States has to do that because, guys, there's no consular courts. The United States said, hey, from this point forward, the hosting country is what governs. That's why they won't even allow the International Court of Justice to govern shit. You have to bring any and all federal questions you want to sue the state. Yeah, come to us. All day long. But now if you're going to do that, now you got to make sure that you give any and everybody, no matter who it is, no matter where they from, what country they from, they have to have the right of due process of law. They have to have the right of equal protection to the law itself. They have to. Right? They have to. There's no way around it if you're going to go in this particular route. So that means they have this particular. The only thing they don't have is a political right, and that's only for the those who was domestically birthed here or by naturalization. And if there's other ways too, that if you were born somewhere else, but your parents are citizens of the United States, et cetera, there's certain things that you got to do just to record their birth, but you still that. But it's the act of their birth that gives you that. So that's why I say, like, when I'm seeing this and I'm like, y'all agreeing with stuff that if you agree with it, it's gonna remove your right. You're not gonna have a standing at all. You're not going to be able to go. And just to say, oh, well, I don't need the 14th Amendment to go to the federal court to make a claim on a state actor. There's no other way for you to do. Show me the right of action that gives you that. Because Article 3, Section 2, it don't give you that right. None whatsoever. It's not there. You got to understand that. So there was nothing there to bind the states. Everything that has taken place is because of the states did some bullshit. That's being given power to the federal government. Every single thing. So that's why we are here today. Right? The reason why it says in the laws, anywhere that it mentions the masculine, it also means the feminine. The reason why that is so is because, again, one reason. And that reason is for the fact that it didn't exist. At one point in time, it was just meant masculine. It did not mean the feminine. So when y'all try to go back and use these particular laws, et cetera, before the Reconstruction era, just maybe reconsider yourself because you wasn't included. Right? You wasn't included. So I showed y'all that one. Now let's look at the 2026 legislature pictures. Let's see what they look like today. I mean, matter of fact, we'll just use this one. Let me see if I can pull this one up over here for y'all. Matter of fact, yeah, look at this one. So we just went from 1800s. Now look at this legislature. This in Alabama. Look at it. What do y'all see? It's just proving my point, though. That's just saying. What do y'all see?
A big difference.
You see diversity, boy.
Yeah. Women, you got it all in there.
So look, since you see all these people here and they're able to be in legislature, does that mean they have political rights?
Absolutely.
Sure do.
Is that not the same thing the white citizen had to enjoy?
Absolutely.
Oh, okay. All right. But you see women. Yeah, you see all different shades of colors of people here. Man, ain't that beautiful, guys? Is that not
They don't
beautiful?
want us to see that. They want us to be distracted, and the distracting that most people are being, bound by is that division. And it's like, no, we gotta rise above that.
Gotta rise above it. Like, watch this. Watch this right here. Let's see. Let's see how many. Hey, let's see how many Asian Americans are in legislature. Let's just look at this. Yeah, here goes some. So let me show y'all something. I'm finna show you. I'm about is look. Look at this. Look at this right here. Y'all see this? The Asians, ain't they? Including 6 Chinese American, 4 Asian women are sworn into office as members of 2023 state legislature of California. Boy, before the 14th Amendment, this shit would have never happened. Do y'all understand that?
Absolutely.
This don't happen. This is why I say, as much as anybody try to downplay it, even the Native American, whoever, it don't matter who you is, without the suffering of the so-called Black African American people and et cetera, and the law being able to change, guess what? Anything that benefited us benefited who?
The rest of those who weren't included.
You feel me? Everybody. Everybody. Make sure y'all get. Are y'all catching on to what history is showing us today? And how the logic and theory, the theories that people try to put out here, that everything that you see in reality goes completely against that, does it not? Yay, nay, come on now, don't y'all be sleep out there on me now.
Just ignorance.
Some of y'all like, yeah, we've been here already. I know, right? But y'all just keep following the bullshit. So we gonna bring y'all ass back here again, so you can know. We finna take y'all to this one. Let's go look at Title 25. Right? I want you to ask yourself this. Why do Indians have constitutional right of Indians? Why does this exist? Why does it say constitutional rights? Anybody?
Why are you saying why do Indians have constitutional rights?
Yeah, basically, yeah, that's what I'm saying.
I would say because the Aboriginal Indian was here before the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution. So because they were already here, the United States of America had to do contracting with the Indian because the land was already here before they got here.
And that's part of it goes into the treaty. But let's just use what the federal law say too. The federal law said they was national citizens of the United States at birth. And since they are declared as such, then that means they got what? Constitutional rights. That's protected. And they say, hey, all y'all Indian tribes, no Indian tribe in exercising powers of self-government shall do what? Make or enforce any laws prohibiting the free exercise of religion, abridging freedom of speech, or the press, or the right of the people peacefully to assemble, petition for redress of grievances, violate the right of the people to be secure in their persons, houses, etc. Why are they saying that to them? Because you got to remember, they had to free the slaves. 1866, the treaty said that they had to do what? They had to let the slaves do what, guys? Become citizens, have tribal rights, receive property, and then the United States government said, and we're going to hold the land until you give it to them. Go read them treaties. So with that being said, they gave constitutional rights, and they say, hey, if these tribal governments start tripping, you get to come where?
Federal court.
Big facts. Hey, I'm just saying, this is what the law say. But then y'all say, look, y'all say ain't no rights, constitutional rights being discussed in statute. Y'all do say that bullshit too, right? Ain't that what they say? If anybody else heard them say that, I have. But here we are reading a statute discussing what?
Constitutional rights.
I'm just saying, but don't read it, guys. Do not read statutes. They do not apply to you. Okay? They don't apply. Believe what they tell you. But like I
They
said,
say it only applies to persons. That's what they say. It only applies to persons, and I'm not a person.
Yeah. They say a lot, but that's the good thing about law. It don't care what they say. It don't care what they say at all. And that's the reason why I just love to sit here and continuing to read, because even when I have a thought, the law say, I don't care what you think. This is what it means. You want to try it, test it, try it and see what happens. That's the reason why y'all go in there. They be like, well, we want to give you a psych evaluation. And they have to give you this evaluation because this is the only way that they can remove you from representation of your rights in your estate in that particular way, because now they have to deem you incompetent. So they can place a lawyer there to handle this, because otherwise the court is not going to move smoothly because of your ignorance. And therefore, if they are aware of you being incompetent, then the judge can be held accountable for not making sure a fair trial is being delivered. So he's not going to.
And they can hold you in contempt for obstructing the proceedings because you are being belligerent and you're being incompetent and you're not legally sound. Your sound is disrupting the court's order.
Person. The due process clause provides that no state shall deprive any person of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. Historical controversy has been waged concerning whether the framers of the 14th Amendment intended the word person to mean only natural. Well, shit. Okay. Anyway, somebody going to look at that and say, oh, well, yeah, there's corporations. No, it's going to make a distinction between natural and artificial. I'm sorry. You can't just make it say that because you wanted to, right? Or whether the word was substituted for the word citizen with a view protecting corporations from oppressive state legislation. So as early as the 1876 Granger cases, the Supreme Court upheld various regulatory state laws without raising any questions to whether a corporation could advance due process claims. As Yana just mentioned earlier, this is the reason why they include a corporation, because of they owning property and they have the right to sue and be sued, etc. So they want to make sure they're covered in due process. Although various decisions have held that liberty guaranteed by the 14th Amendment is the liberty of who? Natural. Not
natural persons.
And not who?
Artificial.
So if I'm reading this correctly, guys, I promise you I can comprehend. What they're saying is it has always meant right? It has always meant the natural people, the living. That's what they talking about. It has always meant this. So y'all questioning whether it means the living instead of, you know what I'm saying? No, it's always meant that. They wanted to know. They're the one that these people who had corporations wanted to say, hey, well, can corporations be included for due process protection? Right? Corporation cannot be granted a freaking citizenship. It has privileges and rights. It was licensed to become into an existence. And then it gains, certain forms of protections of its actual rights and interests and contracts and throughout court procedures. It does gain those things, but that's by statute as well. But again, the Constitution is talking about to keep the infringement from the government upon the living people. That's what it's for. Right? I'm just trying to make sure, this is what this saying. It says, nevertheless, in 1936, a news corporation successfully objected that a state law deprived it of liberty of the press. And you can't. Man. I keep saying to y'all, man, y'all keep trying to downplay the 14th Amendment when it's everything that saves you. It gives you everything that you have today. What you have today. But that's why I told y'all, I don't sit up here, right, and argue about any of that stuff. I have clients that come to me that doesn't say any of this stuff that like they don't have nothing of what y'all have. And I don't have to go file nothing for them to have a right. I just exercise the right, the rules and procedure of the court. Because guess what the rules and procedure of the court? It's actually a form of a trust that keeps the court, right, in fairness. It keeps the court moving in fairness. Utilize it. That's part of due process. If they break procedural due process, even when it comes to the court, the judgment can become, well, it's void. It ain't voidable, it's void. But you also have to raise the issue in defense about it. The rest will take care of itself. Right? This is why it's so important to make sure that you exercise and know your rights itself. Right? Always. Without it, it's over with. There was nothing, and I mean nothing, stopping the states or bounding the states, none whatsoever, without the 14th Amendment. So we got to have it. We got to have it to be able to do these things and handle these things against these particular government, because if not, guys, we looking to just suffer. And I ain't here to suffer. I'm not here to suffer because of ignorance. Right? You know what I mean? So let's just make sure that we fully look at what the letter of the law is stating before. And I mean, I'm telling y'all this from this point forward. I don't care if it's myself or anybody else. Make sure they can point out what they're saying with the law. Because the law is the evidence and proof itself. And then now you got to learn how to take that law and travel it up a chain of command. So let's say if you want to challenge an ordinance, a policy, a mandate, that order, policy, a mandate has to lead to a statute, from the statute to the state constitution, from the state constitution to the federal laws, from the federal laws to the U.S. Constitution. If any given time that it goes against any time, but it does it for conveniency, and it's your duty to recognize that or not. It's your duty. Right? So make sure that you know, right? It's one case that I always talk about, and I talk about it for a reason. And I guess one reason why I talk about it, because I know where this person comes from too. And y'all be following the shit out this dude, and it's cool. I don't care about what y'all do and follow. Just make sure y'all fact check the information. But anyway, this guy received a American Coalition tag, right? And it was a diplomat. tag, and they were charged with forgery. And to be charged with forgery, there are certain elements that has to be reached in order to be charged with forgery. So this person in full panic mode don't know for real if they going to be able to get out of their situation or about to do a time for a felony case or whatever. But then I said, hey, send me that tag and let me look at it. And when I look at it, I said, well, in order for this to be forgery, et cetera, this would have to be an exact replica of the Department of State issuing you a actual tag. I said, it don't look nothing like it. And it says American Coalition. It does not say Department of State. So you didn't forge anything. Neither did you use it to defraud. You're not saying that this is a license tag issued by the state. You ain't even saying that. So therefore, the conduct does not match. The actions taking place, the performance that's taking place does not trigger a statute to be charged by forgery. None whatsoever. That's because none of the elements are met. So now we send an answer. Well, we put in a motion to already dismiss the case because we let them know it does not match. So then the prosecutor says, hey, we're going to drop the forgery case. Now, mind you, they took this dude to jail. They took him to jail. He had to bond out. Why you think they tried to charge him with a public disorder misdemeanor? Can anybody guess why? They said, hey, okay, well, if you don't accept, what they said basically, if you don't accept the public disorder charge, then we're going to turn the forgery charge over to the grand jury. Why do y'all think they made that threat?
Someone has to pay for it. They're trying to figure out a way to pay for it.
Pay for what?
The charge, like, don't they, the
No, because
prosecutors
there's no
have to
charge
pay?
here. You got to listen to the story of what I'm saying. All right? There's a tag. They charged him with forgery. He went to jail. We sent a letter. We did a motion to dismiss the case because of the charge. The conduct does not add up to the charge. Right? Literally said there's nothing here that proves forgery. None whatsoever. And we utilized the tag to show that. So they sent one back. They sent the letter back saying that they had 14 days to answer about accepting the public disorder charge. But even then, we sent another letter back letting them know the conduct still don't match a public disorder charge. So even if we wanted to, we can't even agree to that. You got to prove that too. Crickets, they gone. Ain't heard nothing else. Ain't gonna hear nothing else. But why did they throw that charge in?
Because they're expecting the person to be ignorant of the law. They're expecting you not to know how to address the claim.
And the whole entire thing was y'all
Like you said, it's all about the elements. If the elements are not there, that's what you call failure to state a claim. If you are making an assertion of a claim as something as forgery, the elements must meet. If the elements do not meet, then the state or whatever actor proposed that claim is failing to state a claim. They don't have any elements and they don't have any supporting evidence.
See, so here's the thing. So when I like, and that's just exactly right what you said. But see, y'all got to look at the false imprisonment part. So they trying to make public disorder stick. They say that they can use that for taking him to jail. Y'all got to remember he bonded out. So they trying to throw a charge or anything they possibly can to stick so they can say, oh, this is the reason why we took him to jail. Because if not, it ends up being what? False imprisonment. And they know it.
Imprisonment.
Yep. And they fucking know it. So that's why they trying their
Which means
best.
they caused harm to his person.
Absolutely. And now my whole
And he
point of
can
this.
So they tried to get you to
damages.
argue that subject.
Mm-hmm.
That's wild how they can attempt to charge him with public disorder for having a so-called fraudulent plate. That's
It
a
ain't
wild
wild.
mix.
It ain't really
It's
wild.
just,
I mean, it
it's
is
just how they
wild.
work.
Right. It's wild if you ignorant. But it ain't wild because, like I said, I'm giving you the reason why they even throwed it out there. Because they took him to jail. So the only thing that they can take you for as a misdemeanor to take you to jail for, it was some type of misdemeanor, like a public disorder that causes you to have to go to jail. So they try to hit him with like, all right, well, at least take this misdemeanor then. Hell no. Because even if we wanted
Yeah,
to,
because no.
yeah, we can't. No matter what, when we get into court, you're still going to have to prove that the conduct matches public disorder. And it doesn't. There's no damages, vandalized property, or anything like that here of the state. Anything that doesn't go along with what you're trying to charge this person with. So it still don't matter. Even if we wanted to, or even think about it, we can't, because you can't prove that the conduct and the actions taking place by the defendant is you can't prove that it matches the statute. It doesn't reach the elements.
And they know that false imprisonment also holds a violation, which means that they cause damage and harm to your person. And because they cause damage and harm to your person without proving the fundamental elements to hold that charge, that means now you can seek damages
Mm-hmm. Now,
if you do so choose.
Had he taken that, then he would not have the right to go make a false imprisonment claim. And why would they take a felony forgery and then make a threat with a misdemeanor and say, if you don't take it, we're gonna file the forgery? Well, file it then. We sent the letter back saying, file it. How dare you? Please do. You would have been filed it. You arrested him for this. So yeah, file it with your bad self. Now it's gonna turn into false imprisonment.
They trying to bait you into the bait and switch.
Yeah, it's gonna turn into false imprisonment and malicious prosecution. You're gonna run into both now because you maliciously doing something you don't have evidence to do. And we get to use the fact that you tried to make us accept something else that we didn't have to. So you already knew these are the tacticals, things that you done to play upon them. Like, you can't do that. And then guess what? Now that we start asking for certain things for the case, guess what? They don't know what the case is now. It's gone. Guess what though? We got records. Y'all sent us shit making claims and charges. So yeah, here you go. What about this? What about the bond that we have right here from the bail bondsman? We still got that sheet showing we went to jail, all of that. But my point is, guys, never did I say anything about right to travel, did I? Didn't mention not one thing about it.
Don't have to.
And everything that I stated deals with his right to travel. So now they pulled him over for something they didn't have to. They tried to charge him with something. That's why I say, even if y'all got if y'all gonna be trying to operate like y'all say, because y'all gonna do it anyway. So just do what you feel like you need to do. But if you don't understand due process, man, don't be trying to put no private tags and all this stuff on your car. And then they charge you with improper tag and you go in there trying to argue the right to travel. Listen, improper tag still means that it's a licensed tag from the state. Does your conduct of having a private tag, are you saying that it was issued by the state? If not, then guess what? That statute does not apply to you. You do not reach the elements. So they can't charge you with that. They can't charge you with a fictitious plate. Now, unless your dumb ass out here literally with a plate that represents and replicates a state, then you just a fool, because now that is forgery. And you using it to basically defraud the people, the public trust. Once you do that, yeah, now we got you. But y'all don't even be understanding truly what they be trying to charge y'all with. And when you start look at the word in the context of what's being said. Oh, well, yeah, that's an improper tag. Okay, even if it is, it still say it's an improper license tag. That means that you took something from another car, placed it on yours, etc. Or if you're trying to alter a tag or whatever, that would be that. But you didn't change the number of a tag issued by the state. You ain't do none of that.
And again, they made the assertion that it's improper tax. So now you bear the burden of proving the elements to support your claim. If you don't have the elements, you have no claim, buddy.
No claim. And none of what we said is, I got the right to travel. Hey, and I'm telling y'all from experience, yo, I've been there. That's why I say, like, y'all can't make me try to see your perception. I went through it. I already seen it. And then I realized even when I was doing other things, I was utilizing the law, and that's how I was winning. Then when I took away all the other sovereign talk and all of that type of stuff out of it, and I just started using the actual law and just said, comes now here, defended, such and such, motion to dismiss for such and such. I don't get that sovereign citizen talk shit no more. They don't say that shit to me. They just say, oh, okay, yeah, case dismissed. Have a nice day. They don't drag out of court. You don't get hit with contempt of court and all this other stuff or tactical delays of the court. We don't get hit with that. Because the same thing that you guys trying to do, we actually doing it through procedure. Because procedure is power. Even if they have a defect in procedure, it could cause the whole case to collapse. So it's important. It's important. And then here's the other thing. The only definitions that you guys need to use is a definition that has been defined by statute. You can't go use no other definition. It ain't going to mean nothing to use it. It's pointless. That's why it tells you, it already gives you the interpretation. If it gave you the interpretation from this point forward throughout any act of Congress, I mean, damn, why would you go use another book that don't relate to it and try to use, like, it don't make sense. It's just crazy to do. And if you're going to go get a Black's Law Dictionary, go get the 11th edition. Most people like to go back because some of those Black's Law Dictionary is before like the terminology of Reconstructionary and stuff like that. Man, listen, we ain't got time for that. For what?
And go read the preface of the Black's Law Dictionary, and
Facts.
it would tell you this is a starting point, but you have to follow up with the law,
Yep.
statute.
That's exactly what it say.
So they're not using Black's Law. You can use Black's Law to study, but in a court, they are using the law and statute.
Yep. That's the only way. And that's the only way it's only going to be able. So anytime y'all try to take something and make it fit your narrative, it just ain't going to work. And I ain't gonna even necessarily say friends or whatever, but yeah, I done lost a lot of people I ain't rocking with that no more. He started tripping. Guess what? We still winning cases, winning. You still stuck, and they telling you that you got to have a psych evaluation and shit like that. But we don't run into them problems. That's the point, and I'm trying to tell you, right? You got to know it. So it's like either you going to be real about what this is or you not. Either you're going to keep trying to go around and all this other stuff, and then you're going to challenge. And this is the thing. Y'all done already made a decision that you anti-government. You already made a decision that you're going to be a rule breaker. So that's cool. Break the rules. That's the point of reason why we created them in the first place. Y'all think that y'all the first people.
That just means you unrighteous.
Right. That's exactly what it
You
means.
unrighteous if you want to break rules and create discord. That's somebody that's unrighteous.
I still want y'all to show me a right that a white citizen has that no other citizen. Matter of fact, do y'all? I tell you what. Here go another a shadow of y'all reality. Black does not mean civilly dead. And maybe at one point in time it did. It don't mean that shit no more. You can't even declare somebody civilly dead because of a race or a color or a national origin or anything of that nature. I wonder why.
It does not support the facts. And can you do me a huge favor while you got your screen up? Can you go to the word element under Cornell law? Because this is so fundamental to when you do things like you just said. Say that black means civilly dead. Well, first of all, you got to meet the elements of that, and you got to meet the facts of that. But if you don't have those elements, you don't have no facts, that means that what you're saying about being civilly dead is not true.
It's definitely going to sell you. An element is an essential requirement to make a claim or defense in court as an element of a civil action or a criminal action. Got to have it. So what would make one civilly dead? What would make one civilly dead and you can lose certain things. It can happen through a court order, and you being able to go into in a form of imprisonment, right? Imprisonment that could happen that way, and or you just become you ignorant, you incompetent of something, or you're just not sound in mind, meaning that you are incapacitated and you're not able to handle your affairs and sign contracts and things of that nature. You're basically not aware and unconscious itself. That's it. Other than that, the law says, hey, buddy, you got all your rights and you're protected no matter who you are, no matter your race, no matter your national origin, no matter any of that. We don't care if you just jumped off the moon and came down here and you had a child and yeah, you got them rights, buddy. Matter of fact, we ain't even gonna let you get rid of them. We automatically slanging rights. You get the rights. You get a right. Everybody get rights. What y'all gonna do about it? You don't have the power to declare somebody civilly dead because of a color. Can't do that no more. That's the point of the law, saying equal protection. Somebody ain't gonna like that though, is they? Go ahead, Yanni. You want to pick up what you were saying about this?
I was just gonna say that just simply means that they don't understand the essential requirements. You can't make claims out here and not meet the essential requirements. Anybody can throw a claim out here, but if you ain't got those essential requirements, you don't have a claim. So ain't no arguing with nobody. You can say what you want to say, but if you ain't got the essential requirements, I ain't hearing nothing you talking about.
And that is an absolute fact. It's an absolute fact. Absolute fact, man. I can't. Hey, we can't argue with any of what's being said. And y'all gotta, like I said, I come from a position of understanding of where y'all was at, and I just like, okay, let me put everything to the test. And the more I start putting stuff to the test, the more I start having clients. I can't keep explaining to a client about all this other stuff. And I'm like, you know what? Let's just keep it simple. Keep it simple as possible of something that's tangible, they can read it and they can apply it. And ever since I started doing that, I was like, hold on. I don't even have to mention none of this shit we've been mentioning. I ain't been doing it for none of them because they don't understand. They don't even have the comprehension to look at it, think of it. But they do understand this part. So let me just do it this way. Man, boy, we've been winning every single case. I don't go in there and announce anything about who I am because it don't matter who you are. You already got equal protection of the law, right? It's no reason for you to announce that you are a supreme being, God transformed here on earth, such and such. None of that shit matters because no matter that you say it, it's not going to give you an exclusive right over anybody else. We all got the same protection. So what's the point of saying it? Y'all want to keep saying all of that, wasting ink and paper?
I heard a judge say, and it made so much sense because people say things like, you can't be a sovereign citizen, it's an oxymoron, and this, and that. But what the judge interprets that as is when somebody comes into court, a competent jurisdiction, and they say, well, you don't have any jurisdiction over my body, or you don't have any jurisdiction over me. What you're saying is that you're holding yourself out to be sovereign, but in your position of holding yourself sovereign, you're saying you're above the law. And then you go through the understanding that because you hold yourself out to be above the law, that they don't have jurisdiction. And when you say that, you're literally saying to the court, you do not have the right to adjudicate this matter, which means that I'm telling you also that you don't have a right to hear me. Meanwhile, your whole position being there is for you to
To
have the
be
right to
heard.
be heard, have the right of liberty and pursuit of happiness to enjoy the benefit of your property, but you're telling the court you don't have jurisdiction over that. But then you continue to speak to want the court to hear you, but at the same time say you don't have jurisdiction over me. That does not go together. So, what the court is going to say to you is, you have the right to be appointed counsel, an attorney
Quick.
to represent you,
They
because
gonna
what you're
say that
saying is not
fast.
legally sound and you are not competent enough to represent yourself. That's what they just showed you.
Man, that's so funny you said
So
it
how
that
can you
way.
want to be heard? You want to have relief, but then say, no, you don't have jurisdiction over me. How you gonna get your relief? How you gonna get your claims heard if you say you don't have jurisdiction over me? That don't go together. That's incompetency.
The only thing that you're sovereign over is your rights. You can choose to act on them or waive on them. Waive them. That's on you. And ain't
And they
nobody gonna
already
stop
told
you.
you your rights are protected. We're not unprotecting your rights. We're not trying to take away that right from you. We're actually trying to allow you to understand why we have authority to adjudicate the matter to protect your rights. But you're saying, no, you don't have jurisdiction over my body. I'm not a corporate slave. I'm not in all caps. I'm not under propria. I'm propria persona. I'm not a ward of the state. I'm not under guardian ad litem. I'm not all this crazy stuff that these people push on people
And
to
then
make you
making those
fight
claims, you
against the
gotta assert
same
it.
government that's there to protect you.
And that's the thing though. Like if you make a claim, you have to prove your claim. No matter what it is. Even if you're on the defense side. Anything that you dispute, you must prove that there is some form of reason for it to be a dispute. Anything. All the stuff saying if you get out of the car, you're gonna enter into their jurisdiction. That's bullshit. Just because you get out of a car does not give them jurisdiction. Just because they arrest you does not give them jurisdiction. Just because they put a charge in does not give them jurisdiction. Especially when they totally violate everything and required in the elements for them to reach to be able to charge you. That's the point of you, again, as we just said, you have a right to be heard. Why ain't showing up to court? So you're just going to not exercise your right to be heard. Gotcha. Bench trial. Why? Because we have to protect your right to be heard, and we're going to bring forth the body to make sure you have a right to be heard. There's an account on our docket, which means this had to be fully carried on. So now when we arrest you and you come in this court, oh, you are exactly who we arrested you to be. And this is what we're going to do. And we're going to get through this court procedure. So now if you look like you're incompetent and you don't want counsel, then we're going to make you have an evaluation so we can determine that you are incompetent and now make you get a public defender. You're not getting away because we need to make sure that everything is done fairly. We're protecting you, whether you like it or not. We're going to protect you. It's best to be competent. Because look, as you can see right here, it says incorporation. Now, when it says incorporating, it's incorporating the Bill of Rights and the equal protection of laws, et cetera, into the 14th Amendment to bound the states. Just know so you understand it. The Fifth Amendment reference to due process is only one of the many promises of protection the Bill of Rights gives people against the federal government. Originally, these promises had no application at all against the states. The Bill of Rights was interpreted to only apply against the federal government, given the debate surrounding its enactment and language used elsewhere in the Constitution to limit state power. Barron versus City of Baltimore. However, this changed after the enactment of the what amendment? The 14th, which one they hate so bad. And a string of Supreme Court cases that began applying the same limitations on the state as a Bill of Rights. So again, you will not have the particular privilege that you have to go to the federal government to hold the state actors accountable for their unjust acts if it was not for the 14th Amendment. You cannot use the Fifth Amendment about due process against the state. That's for federal. Can't use it. I just want y'all to know that. You can't use it, but you can use the 14th. Which says the same thing, and all Bill of Rights are applied to the citizens of the United States. Now, you got to understand, without creating this national citizenship, you would never have this privilege. The federal government cannot protect you from any harm of the state actors. How many of y'all know that? Y'all know or y'all don't know? Y'all quiet.
The states have an immunity, right?
Yeah, boy.
Now, consider this. Let's say you have a trademark on intellectual property.
Mm-hmm.
If you are violated against that intellectual property, then I think, if I'm not mistaken, that their right of immunity is waived at that point.
Say that one more time.
When it comes to trademark, let's say the property that the state or state official might have violated was a trademarked property. In that sense, their immunity is like pierced.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, it can be in relation to forms of negligence and stuff like that. But they will let you know what they allow themselves to be sued on.
Yeah, and that's why it's like, if you bring some context to the understanding, it's like, yes, they have a afforded immunity, but there are some cases and instances that raise um, questions to that immunity. But it's always going to matter about context, and I just know that studying the past few months, I saw something to the nature of about trademark property.
And that could be, but it is property, and if it's being mishandled wrong, then yeah, it's no difference than let's just use Donald Trump situation, um, with the IRS. There you go. That reason right there, and he has that right. But that's actually deal with the federal government. But like I say, even in the 14th Amendment, like, all right, in Alabama, it says that the state of Alabama cannot be a defendant. But what it also says is, hey, any actors and whatever that uses the state laws, et cetera, to cause harm, hey, buddy, you lose immunities, and they have a right of action upon your bond. Right?
Yes, buddy.
That's what they say. And they also, now when they get to the federal government, now you can't take a state to the federal government that does not allow itself to go. So the state of Alabama does not. But it does say, what? Hey, look, any wrongdoing that's being done by the actor, it's on them. We remove all immunities there is done, and the state reserves its immunities. That's the reason why it says, and I think it's, let me go look. I think it's Article. Let's go make sure. It's in the judicial. It's definitely Article 3 in the judicial department. I know that for a fact. And we're looking for this one. Nah, I know what it is. I'm tripping. It's the 11th Amendment. The judicial power of the United States shall not be construed to extend to any suit in law or equity commenced or prosecuted against one of the United States by citizens of another state or by citizen subjects of any foreign state. So they're letting you know this is their state immunity right here. But now, you can sue the damn actor. You can bring the actor up in here because of the 14th Amendment, baby. Hey, 42 USC 1983 made that possible. So you can bring them up in there now for that particular reason. Because again, even the 11th Amendment did not bound the states to anything, but the 14th Amendment bound the states. So now the actors are held responsible. But according to due process of law, which is literally, like I said, originally these promises had no application at all against the states. The Bill of Rights was interpreted to only apply against the federal government, right? So now, here we are today. Man, be proud of your ancestors, yo. Stop denying what they fought for, what they shed blood for, what they had to literally put it all on the line for their families, et cetera, just for today to be what it is today. Like, you getting to experience, like, man, like, matter of fact, just the ownership of property. Like, damn, let's just talk about that. We talking about all this voting and shit. You couldn't own nothing without the 14th Amendment. How about that? You couldn't own nothing.
They not hearing you. Say it for the people on the back.
You couldn't own no property. That's a fact. Now you can own property today. Women could not own property before the 14th Amendment either. So yeah, that's why I don't understand, especially women, especially white women. Because like I said, your men was at the beginning anyway. They didn't allow you to have none of this. So how can you go running off agreeing with what something such and such white citizen had when it damn sure didn't include the female? But y'all want to go back to those old laws. That's crazy.
They trying to go back pre-Jim Jim Crow, huh?
They trying to, but again, a so-called, listen, in Asian, we're going to say this, a Chinese American couldn't own property. Japanese American couldn't own no property. Black Americans couldn't own no property. None of these people could own any property at that particular time. You was not able to own property. They wasn't going to let you be in ownership of property. They found ways, even when it came down to the Irish man for the equal protection of law and stuff like that, they treated him like shit when it came to labor. So he suffered. The Chinaman suffered under labor laws. Do I need to keep going on why the 14th Amendment is so important? It ain't just about one single person. There are a lot of acts that are taking place with all different type of people in different situations. Do y'all aware of that, right? It's a show called Warriors on Netflix, and it deals with the time 1870. So that's 2 years after the full ratification of the 14th Amendment. And during that era, it's showing that, you know, these people came. It's showing the Chinaman came over from China over here. As soon as they got off their boat, they came into some bullshit because the states were still doing that. Slaves was considered property. Of course, slave was considered property, so they couldn't own no property. That was my point. They couldn't own a single form of property. It was a lot of people. If you wouldn't consider a white citizen before the Reconstruction era, you ain't had no rights to do damn near anything. You was limited. They didn't give you full outright rights. Even if you was another class of people or whatever, you still was limited according to statute. That's the reason why I say in statute they wrote to where a woman could vote about school elections, but she could not vote in a political election. So they didn't fully get the right to participate in those particular things until later on after the 14th Amendment as well. It's a real thing, but you got a law and history go hand in hand. So I can easily defeat what anybody got to say by just showing y'all the pictures that we showed y'all earlier. I just showed you a diverse of people in legislature. And this is only possible because of the 14th Amendment. Without it, those people do not sit there. It probably would still be what you consider white men, white citizens with wigs and a hair bow. All jokes
Wigs and a hair bow is crazy.
that's what the fuck they had. I mean, that's what it. I mean, that's what it was. It's a fact. But that's what you would have today. See, and then somebody will say, well, they wrote the Constitution not with us in mind, but God had us in mind. He said, just give me time.
It's like
I got
we've
you.
come a long way, but what people are trying to do is it's almost like people are so divided, they're trying to take us back. And it's like, nah, I ain't going back, partner. You can go back by yourself.
Yeah, they could never
I'm
go
not
back.
going back.
Well, when people start thinking like that, they don't look at from a seat of government. They look at a seat from an individualism. Like, you got to think about it. If, number one, they only tell you that the 13 independent states fought against Great Britain. That's a bullshit ass lie. If let's say for instance, you get into a situation, let's say we neighbors, you get into it with a situation with somebody, and then they come over here and just bring an all-out war to you. Like, and let's just say they in the wrong too. They came to your property, your land, start an all-out war, bullets flying everywhere. Those bullets end up flying into my home. What the fuck you think I'm gonna do? You think I'm just gonna sit here and do nothing? No. I gotta protect my folks. So the people who come in here, we gotta handle this situation. So yeah, we're gonna help you with this war. We ain't got no choice. It's not even an option now. At all. So you got all this, like I said, you got all this blood, sweat, and tears that's here, man. People really know that they family, ancestry, etc. They put something here. And if you don't give those people those political rights, what y'all think gonna happen on this land?
Insurrection and war.
Yeah, we war. It's war. Ain't no now. Not only that, look at all the time that has passed since 1868. The Chinaman didn't had people die in the United States of American Army. The black man has had that. The Japanese man, the Nigerian man, all of us have. The Mexican man. I think that we can find every national origin and ethnicity in the United States Army at some point. What y'all want to
You
bet?
sure can. You so can. All you gotta do is go to Ancestry and look at them documents. They'll show you all them folks that went to war.
So ask yourself this question then. If that's the case too, then so why would these people who die for the land not actually be deserved to have political rights? Why would you feel that you are to be in a certain class that has some type of exclusive rights that others don't have?
That's because people are really exercising what we know to be true is supremacy, white supremacy, feeling like they are superior over every other race. And I'm not saying all white people feel that way or act in that context, but there are a lot who do. They feel like they are the superior race and no other race is superior. But those also come from other ideologies and philosophical views of other peoples that held those thoughts. But it doesn't mean that it's true. It just means that they had the right to exercise their philosophical view, whether it been based on science or whether it been based on biology or whatever they felt it was based off of, they exercised it. But it does not mean that today in 2026, you have to subject yourself to that thought.
It ain't law.
It's just a thought.
And that's why law is so beautiful,
Don't
man.
mean it's law.
That's why it's so beautiful.
We all got thoughts.
You know? That's the reason why the law is so beautiful. Because it don't care what they think. You know? I heard somebody say, hey, well, they're going to charge you with the statutes anyway. You might as well learn them. I started laughing. I think it was Freedom on here. Yeah, they're going to charge you with the statutes anyway. You might as well learn them. You got no choice.
Yeah, that's what a competent person does. That only makes sense because the moment you start going into them courts, they're going to hold you to the same regard and standard as a lawyer and attorney. The only difference between you and a lawyer and attorney is knowledge. That's it. The knowledge to know something or not know something.
Yep.
So the moment you know, you get the utmost respect because now the judge is looking at you as honorable. They said you took the time and diligence to study the law. And now you're right here in my very court upholding that very law. So you're protected. I dismiss this case. I give you and grant you the relief that you seek.
Yep, it's procedurally sound. And that's why I say y'all can be right. You can be right. You can listen, your facts can be great. You can have all the truth you want. But if you don't operate and procedurally put things into the court and exercise those rights in a timely manner and knowing how to present, it's saying this for a reason that you get to present evidence, et cetera, and all of that. Yeah, you do. So in order for it to say that, guess what? There was one particular time where you couldn't. You didn't have that power. Like I said, there was one particular time where the woman didn't have certain rights as well. You see what I'm saying? Like they didn't have.
She couldn't even go protect her property
Yeah,
He
she
couldn't do
couldn't.
nothing.
She had that. She literally like, all right, for like I said, a man would have to marry his brother's wife just to save the property. Like seriously, shit like that had to happen just to make sure that the estate, the property, etc., is taken care of. Right? Then they started fighting for the widow rights and all of this type of stuff, and those things gradually started taking forward. But it was at one point in time, no. Even the man had to represent the woman's estate. Now you got to remember, this is what they come from Great Britain, and dealing with shit like that. They was dealing with. That's why all this type of stuff is written in the Declaration of Independence, etc. Then they also gave you a warning, like, hey, this can still happen here too. So the people. Your job is to make sure that you limit the government to the Constitution. Nothing like don't let it do anything extra, because it's definitely going to try it. And guess what happened? The history proves they tried it. That's the reason why we got all these Supreme Court cases to a point to where you want to do something about it. And again, remember what I've been telling y'all as well. Ignorance attracts greed. So those who understand the knowledge, and just because knowledge ain't got nothing to do with good and evil, you can have evil people can have the same knowledge. They know the law and everything as well too, and they will utilize it against you because of your ignorance. I literally watched. I want to find it. Some of y'all might have seen it as well too, but I literally saw a sheriff. This was a sheriff said, "Hey, you need to know your rights, because if you don't know your rights," he said, "I can work around that." I said, "Damn, this the sheriff saying that to you." He said, "I can work around you not knowing them." That's heavy. He even gave you a warning. You better know it. Take this and what we saying into consideration, y'all. Right? Now, this is my last time talking about this for this type in this way, this year. I ain't talking about it like that no more. I might revisit y'all on it next year. If y'all want to keep following the stupid fuck, then keep following the stupid fuck. Keep doing the shit. Right?
That's really his name, though.
I mean,
you
it's
heard?
pretty
That's funny as
evident in
shit.
the name itself.
You said what?
It's one stupid fuck.
You said what now? I didn't hear y'all.
It's pretty evident in the name itself.
Yeah, because that's really his name. She's saying the evidence is really in his name.
I'm just saying. I mean, you know,
I'm just,
I don't know.
we can't
I don't
make
know the
this right.
name. I don't know whoever, but I'm just telling y'all, if y'all want to follow anybody that's a stupid fuck, then keep following that stupid shit. That's all I'm gonna tell y'all. You feel me? And don't nobody ask me to debate with nobody. I ain't debate with nothing. We still winning. Y'all stop me from winning first with what the fuck I'm saying. Because I see y'all not winning with what you saying. So do that for me. That's real. And I get people trying to prove stuff.
My son heard you. He said, yes.
You said what now?
My son heard you. He yelled out, yes.
I'm just being honest. It is what it is.
And he only was.
We don't got time to be, you know what I'm saying? And I ain't here to say anything, whatever, like that. It ain't no smoke. You know, don't see you really want no smoke like that. So I ain't finna be arguing and talking about this. No, I'm just letting y'all know though. I get asked about it all the time. People send me stuff in messages. Hey, what do you think about this? I told you what I think about it. It's wrong. I can prove it. But even when I show it to y'all, it's gonna shatter your reality, and you ain't gonna like it. You're not gonna like it. You're going to refuse me. You've already built up a blocking mechanism in your own mind that if this doesn't reach your narrative, you're going to change it. But then when we go out here and we just show, like I don't even have to go out here to go show you anything in relation to the court, just by what I showed you along to the pictures in relation to legislature, the change of it. You can deny it. Listen, there's only one way that you can stop being a citizen of the United States. Get your ass up out of here. That's it. You got to go become a citizen. Then you will have dual citizenship, but you can relinquish your citizenship here if you're going to move somebody else. Or you can keep dual. It's up to you. But if you go into government in another government, you automatically lose. If you go become citizen as a public servant in another government, you automatically lose nationality. You lose that. It tells you how you can lose it. Go read it. You can't just do something and act on your own and think that they not gonna go for that. Like, and this another thing. Like, okay, this is a hard thing for people to understand too. Y'all say they stole the land. History says they conquered it. Stealing and conquering is two different things. Conquering the land means you got your ass conquered, and that means whoever conquered you rule. Deal with it. It's two different things. Like, no matter what happened here on the land, everybody is free today. So you can go back and look over history and learn from it as well. But when you come up to this, when you come up to the right now, the very moment, everybody's free. Everybody got equal protection, the right of the land, no matter if they're foreigners, no matter if they're no matter if they are illegal immigrant, they still got the right to due process. But
Make it make sense. How people think that China got rights to the land over here and they have part of the land from over here, because they not keeping nobody back from having access to the land or enjoying it under their free express right. They actually held it in trust. But you got to learn how to operate.
And that's true. Like I said, you just
land free for all.
It was one person who got picked up for so-called illegal immigrant status and all that type of stuff. Guess what he did? Challenged it in court. They had to let his ass go. Why? Equal protection of the law, due process. That's what happens. He raised the issue. He got to stay. Some don't raise the issue because they don't know it. But guess what? That's the same thing that happened to your ass. If you go to another country and you don't know the law, your ass probably going to end up in jail. It's no difference than it was some girls in Nigeria that got out the car just to shake their little butts and stuff. And then the president was like, hey, arrest them people. This ain't America, dog. You ain't in America. You can't just do stuff that you want to do. You can file up a cigarette in the wrong place and go do some time in certain countries. I think Dubai might be one of them. They don't play that shit. So, yeah, y'all running to another country ain't going to solve your problem of ignorance. You can go to a country and then you got to learn their language to maybe even read the law, to understand it, to operate. Hope you find somebody that can tell you something, because if it comes down to the justice system of it, you might not have the right to due process over there, buddy. You might not have it over there. All right? So if you in a hurry to get somewhere, go ahead, get somewhere. It don't matter. Even if you want to go declare it, let's just say, like, and then somebody was like, well, what about us being Aboriginals and stuff like that? Okay, that's cool. But guess what? It's still your responsibility to get your tribe, your band, your clan, and to have a tribe, man, that's thousands of people. I don't think y'all understand what it's going to take to literally put that one of those lost tribes or whatever tribes together. Now, there's a difference between a state recognized tribe and a federal recognized tribe. The state can recognize you as a tribe because they got some type of treaty or history with you, but guess what happens? Guess what happens when you leave that state? It don't matter no more. You're not federally recognized, so the federal government can't protect you, nor can the state. The state can only protect you within its particular boundaries. So, yeah, there are some tribes that are only state recognized, but they ain't federally recognized. So that's why the only thing that's going to be still protecting them is them being a national and citizen of the United States of America. And guess what? The federal government does not see that state recognized tribe. They don't see those people as tribal people. Guess what the federal government see them as? Citizens of that state and nationals and citizens of the. So, guys, are we concluding this situation? Y'all okay? Or are anybody in here that follows stupid fucks and stuff like that? I'm just asking the question. It's cool if you do. That's on you.
I did prior to you. I remember going through his pre-course classes, just to like kind of like get a grasp on how the Cornell works and how law and how definitions work and stuff like that. He does pretty good on that aspect, but he never litigated before. He even tells you that at the end of the course. So he basically starts to learn how to litigate at the end of the course, and he don't have the type of knowledge to be able to. He's really good at just getting what's it called etymologies of the words and breaking them down and definitions and stuff like that. But
And
besides
that's
that,
cool, but
yeah,
you
all that
can't.
other stuff,
It's
yeah,
cool. I mean, but even then, bro, like even using the etymology of words is still not a word that you like. You can't say the definition of an etymology of a word. You can't take it and apply it in a court case if the statute does not recognize it as such as well. It does not define it the same way. Like, so that's why I say you got to be careful where you pull other definitions from and how it's being used today. And when you go back and look at etymology of words, have you ever noticed it says, hey, in 1400, it was used as this. In 1500, it was used as this. In 1700, it's used as this. So therefore, you see a change in the word itself, correct?
yeah, that's exactly how it go down. Yeah,
Yeah. So what
And
does that?
etymology is just like Black's Law. Black's Law Dictionary. I don't give a daggone if they say go get the thesaurus, go get the Ballantine. They are not using that in court. It's a starting point for learning, but you have to exercise your learning at a higher level. Understand that it has to meet the law, the statute. If you
Exactly.
don't finish with the law and statute, they not hearing you because they're not using it. I ain't never walked into a courtroom and seen a Black's Law Dictionary. I ain't never walked into a courtroom and seen an etymology book. But I do see statute books all
Yeah.
the time,
All the
and they
time.
got them in large volumes.
That's why anything that we use has to be in the line with law. So even if we're gonna use the word, can we take the word and still apply it and find it in law that it matches the same thing? And there are different times where different things have changed in representation of its meaning and way things like that. But that's why it's so important to really read in context. Like growing up, when in reading class, which some of y'all hated to do because you had to read out loud, but still in reading class, they always told us to go read the glossary first so you can understand the author. That's exactly what we had to do. Before we could even read the book, we had to go read the definitions that's told to us. We would have a test on those definitions, and then we would read the book. And she always did that for us because she wanted to make sure that we're going to be able to comprehend what's being said and how words are being used in the context, right? Specifically.
Absolutely.
That still matters today. Still. So if the statute tells you, hey, this is what the fuck this means in this particular statute, or it might apply to any act of Congress. It just depends on what they say. They're going to make reference, and law has to be so specific. They have to tell you what it means so they don't have no confusion. Their law is not to leave you confused at no point. At no point. That's the point of statute, is to make sure that it does not leave any confusion for you. It's defined for you. But again, I just say this to y'all, like, stop sending me stuff from dude. I don't know dude. Don't really care to know dude. If he cool, he cool. If he ain't, he ain't. But I just know some of the shit they be saying is wild. And it's like, yeah, if you're not a white citizen, you blacks, you're going to have to go find something about tribal. Well, what the fuck? Like, don't you understand it was an option? If they wanted to be in tribal or not, that was an option. Do y'all know that too? Do y'all know that?
Yes.
If you don't know it, go watch Yellowstone. You ever seen the show Yellowstone? Oh, they show it to you all through there.
with the ranch, with
the ranch.
yeah, right, yeah, that's fire, yeah,
Go watch
they
it.
do show it in there.
They show it to you. They show you what's the boy on the reservation, his son. He got the show called Marshall now. What's his called? What's his name?
Dutton, Dutton was it? Oh,
He
man.
was the youngest
Can't think of
son.
his first name.
Had the girlfriend on the
He got
reservation,
the
right?
new.
So now, when they went on the reservation, they allowed him to live on the reservation, et cetera. He had to follow and apply to the tribal laws, et cetera. But he still was a what? National citizen of the United States. So was the Indians as well too. What happened to that one dude? As soon as he came off the reservation, what they do to his ass? The sheriff was waiting. The sheriff was waiting right there to lock his ass up. Was they not?
So was.
Is this a series you talking about or just a movie?
No, it's a series
Yeah,
called Yellowstone.
It's a series.
Oh, okay. And I said I wanted to check that out, but I never.
No,
I'm
it's
going.
dope. It's real
on my
dope.
to
But
do.
I'm saying it's in there though. It's actually in there. You can see where they talking about tribal laws because they talking about the ranches, and then they had certain land, and then the what was the guy name? What's the family name on there?
The Duttons.
Nah, are they the Duttons?
Well, the name of the show, I believe. Yeah,
Nah,
it's
that's the Duttons.
The
Duttons
Dutton
is
family.
something else, ain't it? Nah, they don't get to carry the Dutton name. You're right. Okay, so you're right. So what I'm saying is, on there though, like they had a ranch, a huge ranch, probably the biggest ranch ever, but they had it, and it also kind of crossed here and there between the natives. So they fought over cattle. They would take their cattle, this, and that. The cattle were herd. Like it was just a bunch of stuff, right? That related to, property and stuff like that. But when you see it though, it's there. They're actually operating according to the law itself. They're using the federal law. They're trying to operate using the state law in relation to the tribal law, etc. They all still had rights. Even when they had to come into the court, they still have full equal protection of the law. All of this. It's all there. Every bit of it. Like, it's so much there that all we got to do is really just pay it. Even when you watch Law and Order, if they don't have all the elements of the case, what does the prosecutor say? Hey, man, this ain't enough for me to charge nobody with shit. They got to take their ass back out there and go figure it out again, right? You see what I'm saying? They don't talk about a white citizen or a private. They don't talk about none of that stuff because they know everybody got equal protection of the law. They understand that. But yeah, I'm not talking about this no more. So don't send me nothing else. Whatever dude's saying, anybody else saying, it's over with. Because if y'all want to stay over there, stay over there. Y'all want to, you know what I'm saying? Keep doing what you're doing. That's on you. Remember, you sovereign. You make a decision on what you want to do, so keep doing what you're doing. You know what I'm saying? And that's all I'm saying. But all I'm going to say is this. If you show up taking a consultation, I'm going to say, I told your ass. You took yourself up the road, let Craig fuck up your head, didn't you? Hey, that's what you did. Went up the road and let them skin you up. We ain't got time for all that, y'all. Y'all gonna let them skin you up?
Nah, man. Mm-mm.
What y'all learned today?
We doing the skinning.
What y'all learned today? Anybody?
Get into the legislative body.
Who is dude?
How to properly use the context of the Constitution to protect your rights.
Facts. I said, who is dude? I don't know dude. I don't know dude to tell you who he is. I don't know. I just say I just be getting messages. The stupid fuck said this. Damn, what type of okay. And you followed somebody to call themselves the stupid fuck?
I'm just saying.
That's cool. But I'm tired of seeing that shit. Then it's just people on there just like they all in agreement. I'm laughing like, yeah, okay. So yeah, any of the laws that you exercise in the day, you wouldn't have it. You wouldn't even have the right to contract. Then it's just a whole bunch of people, black women, white women, and I'm just like, come on, guys. Are y'all serious? Do you not know what you fought for to get where you at today to lose it because you want to backtrack? You gonna lose every fucking thing. Everything. Everything. And you know what? I promise you, I wish it was a certain way that y'all could be transported specifically to the era that y'all claim. That would be some shit to see. What's that movie called? LeBron, when they went back to 10, it's a show, they went 10,000 years back. They're 10,000 BC. When they went travel through time. Yeah, I wish I could go to that specific era that you talk about and live there. Live there. I don't care what color you is or who you are. You need to have the experience of what was going on. Yeah, so you can actually see, and then you need to be able to live all the way up until this moment. Right now, the moment that you refuse. I wish that was possible, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I swear I wish that was possible. What y'all think they'll do if they had to go through that?
Boy, they be ready to jump off the cliff.
They wouldn't make it, man. I'm telling you, somebody said they would not make it. Hell no, they wouldn't make it. And it was more inclined in that you need to know the law. Real talk. But it's so important, y'all. And I'm saying this because I'm for all people, man. I'm for everybody because everybody deserves a right to life, liberty, and property and the pursuit of happiness. There's not one single person should experience being stateless and not having those protective rights, etc. No child should enter into any world stateless. It shouldn't happen. And not having the full right of protection of the law and being able to fully develop an enjoyment of the law and become a elector and or a candidate to sit in the public service seat. Because without that, that means that that individual cannot be and basically determine his own fate. This allow us to determine our fate. Either we follow the law or we don't. You either utilize it or we don't. Just like I said about the whole Carmelo Anthony case. Y'all keep trying to get me to be on y'all side with that. I told y'all his pops know was cheap. It is what it is. Y'all looking at the act, whether somebody wrong or right in the act. I'm looking at procedure, and I understand that the damn the lawyer that they had at first, he didn't do anything in relation to protecting the fairness of the trial in the first place. Like I said, it matters. But hey, I ain't got nothing to do with that. They got to deal with that all the way. Then y'all watch Charleston White. Hey, we finna get $75,000. Then he come on there and say, man, I ain't giving shit. Just daddy weak. I already seen it though. If you ain't put up the whole day, like, and that's just if you believe, like, you got to show me. If you truly believe that your son is not guilty, you truly believe that, bro, every single dollar and penny. Man, we finna eat noodles, and I don't even eat ham and pork, but I probably eat some ham sandwiches and settle for my child for that reason. This all we eat, cups of noodles, the homemade biscuits, couple of eggs every now and then. Yeah, that's what we eat. Y'all think I'm playing, so when I see that and you ain't willing to put up everything, nah, buddy. Y'all ain't trying to win for real. And some say, well, he didn't know. Hey, ignorance of the law is inexcusable. That's the point of what I keep trying to tell y'all. It's the whole point. So you can't even understand when when the lawyer that's working for you is showing negligence because you don't got no understanding of the law. Man, that hurts to suffer like that. Right? The act should have never happened. It should have never happened. None of it should have never happened. It's not good for neither family. I don't give a damn what the Jeff, what's his name? Jeff Metcalf, whatever his rant and stuff. I don't care about none of what he talking about. See, I don't care nothing about what nobody say. The law still applies, regardless of how you feel. I could be a nigga to you. I could be a whatever you want to call me. That law still applies, buddy. You could be all mad the fuck you want to. You could cross this line. I'm gonna show you this. I'm gonna show you how I get to exercise this Second Amendment right on your ass. Especially if we in a stand your ground state. I'm not gonna play with you. So this is why I said you could be y'all could be mad, you could be pissed off, you could talk about this, we shouldn't have it. Y'all can say all y'all want, we still got them rights. You ain't taking shit. What you gonna do about it? Even the law on my side now. So let's go ahead. If that's what you feel that you need to do. Otherwise, like I said, we all gonna sit our ass down with people who love their lives, and we gonna handle everything civilly. Cause again, this is why we need law. Just off this case alone. When you look at what people been saying, I'm talking about, I done seen black people say the most awfulest shit ever, and I done seen white people say the most awfulest shit, and other communities as well just say the most awfulest, craziest shit ever. And all of y'all think that y'all should be able to have a right to cast judgment. But see, that's why the law is the law. Only thing that deserves to cast any form of judgment is the law itself, because y'all would put us back into war. And if there was no law checking y'all, a lot of y'all would go commit an emotional act right now. If the law was not present, you would have went and hurt somebody that said something about Carmelo and vice versa. But the fact that we do got law, you checked yourself, didn't you? You set your ass down somewhere, didn't you? You don't want to do 25 to life, do you? You don't want to look at that type of time. You don't even want to do 2 years, yet alone a year, 3 years, whatever. You don't want to do none of it. So that's why the law is there, because it checks the what? It checks that conscious mind. And I think everybody in here didn't want to give somebody the smoke for real once before in life. I know I have. I can name a couple of people that in my lifetime, if the law didn't exist, they probably would not be here. For a fact. But you know what kept my ass in check? Sitting down doing some 25 to life around a bunch of dudes. Yeah, I ain't with that shit. Let me be good. Sit my ass down somewhere civilly and see if we can take this matter in a different way, or me just going about my business and not worried about it. But I'm telling y'all, this is a fact. Right? Am I wrong? Am I wrong? But y'all got to be really and want to see it, though. Y'all got to really want to be able to take what's real, what and the reality of things, and really look at things for what the reality is. Because like y'all telling, if y'all want to take all of this away, then go stop the mayor and go stop the governor in Maryland. He's the governor of Maryland right now because of the 14th Amendment. Yeah. Go stop him. All these other people that y'all see in these particular places and public service seats as well. You will take that away from them. You will take that away from them. Now, this to everybody that says that, you know, they're only a state citizen. I'm just a state citizen. I'm not a U.S. citizen. I'm a state citizen. I'm not a U.S. citizen. I don't have to obey those laws. Yeah, you're right. You shouldn't have to obey those ones that goes against the Constitution. I agree. But it's best to challenge that in court and not with your life on the side where if something happened to you, you just ain't no challenging, ain't no speaking, ain't no right to a hearing for you. You just deceased. You know? You are deceased. Now, in order for you to be a qualifier of governor and lieutenant governor, it says that the governor and lieutenant governor shall each be at least 30 years of age when elected. Now, this is all elements, guys. So you have to meet these elements in order for you to qualify. All right. And shall have been citizens of the United States 10 years. And resident citizens of the state. So what they telling you is this. You got to be a what? A citizen of the United States first. A resident of the state second. In order for you to be a governor or a lieutenant governor in Alabama. Mind you, citizen of the United States. So this is my question, and this is just to anybody that feels like, so y'all mean to tell me y'all don't want no, y'all, so because if y'all not citizens of the United States, then guess what? You have no political right. If you say you a national or non-citizen, you can't vote. You can't sit in a public seat. A public seat. You can't sit in none of them. That what you want? I mean, people died for that, right? Let's go look at what it says right here. Let's go look at this part. Suffrage and elections. So age and citizenship qualification of electors. So it's saying the age and the citizenship that qualifies you to be an elector to vote. It said every male citizen. Now, I told y'all at one point in time it didn't include y'all female, but they had to come back and write it in statute and say everywhere that it includes the masculine, it also includes the feminine. So just so you know that. But every male citizen of this state who is a citizen of, what they say again? Somebody say that loud for the people in the back.
The United States.
Yeah, citizen of the United States. And every male resident of foreign birth who, before the ratification of this Constitution, shall have legally declared his intention to become a what? Say that again. Say it again for him, please. Somebody. I ain't going forward till you tell me what to say. Oh, y'all gonna try me. I promise you, I'm not going forward. I want to know you know what it say. What's highlighted? What do it say? Anybody?
A citizen of the United States, right?
Yeah. Citizen of the United States, 21 years or old. There goes the age, not laboring under any disability named in this article, and possessing the qualifications required by it, shall be an elector and shall be entitled to what? Vote at any elections by who? The people. Oh my. Wow. Right? Then it says this, provided that all foreigners who have legally declared their intention to become citizens of the United States shall, if they fail to become citizens thereof, at any time they are entitled to become such, and then cease to have the right to vote. So guess what? You can't vote if you're not a what? Come on. Say
A
it.
United States citizen.
Yeah, and you can't sit in a public servant seat unless you are a what?
Citizen of the United States.
Okay, guys, you guys have a great and beautiful day. It's been a great time with you guys here today. I've enjoyed this session. Don't forget about the car giveaway coming up next Saturday. All right, still got 5 days. We're going to be giving it away at 3 p.m. Central Time, but we're going to be live pretty much all day, having a great time, cooking food, stuff like that, and hanging out, chilling with family. Y'all going to see us turning the thing all day as well, so you can know, hey, somebody going to win, right? Make sure that you do everything that you see on the flyer. If you want to know more about it, let me know, and I'll make sure you get it. Now, 7 days after the particular giveaway, we're going to be having a conference. And if you want to do this the correct way, want to know how to operate in your majority status, take control of your minor accounts, which is so easy. There's nothing you have to do but just go in there and say, I'm of legal age now, and I want to sign the contract. I want to take over that particular account, remove the custodian away. But hey, that's another thing. We'll talk about that too. Rights, due process, jurisdiction, legal remedies, all of this, equitable remedies. But most of all, the basic principles and understanding and how to truly read the law, reference with the law, utilize the law, understanding your rights and fully exercising them, and understanding your position here in the United States of America. You must be aware. Knowledge is the key, and if you are not knowledgeable, then you will suffer in ignorance. That is a fact. I promise you. I promise you. Those who remain in darkness means you remain in ignorance. When light is shed upon you, then the ignorance has to flee. Darkness has to flee. Now you got a choice. Because now you have the knowledge, but are you going to rebuke the knowledge and still move in ignorance? See, that's what Satan did. So that's why Satan was cast into the darkness, to remain in a dark cycle of ignorance. Because Satan is not all knowing. That's what it's always been about. Those who know and those who don't. Those who apply what they know. Because you can know and you can point somewhere and tell somebody to go, but if you ain't never been yourself, then do you truly, really know? Not really. So appreciate y'all. Y'all have a great day. I'm out of here. Peace.
You too.